So in the way of Gary Snyder, here's a select. Would you like to hear a selection of my haikus?
Sure you do.
And for the uninitiated, I know you're very internationalistic people in Holland, so I'm sure you know. But to the uninitiated, a haiku is a three-line poem. It was a kind of poetry that was invented in the 17th century in Japan by a guy called Basho, wrote for the Floating World School of Zen Buddhism, and it's a poem of a 17-syllable discipline, 3 lines, 17 syllables, first line 5, second line 7, third line 5, 17. No deviation. You know what the Japanese are like. There's no Japanese translation for the term of near enough. There's no literal translation. So I had to think very carefully about writing haikus in the first place. Why? Because half a syllable each side, and that would be like spitting on my ancestors. And then I would be obliged to eviscerate myself in a public place. And I don't want that to have to happen. So I thought again, he's going into business for himself. Nice one. I don't want that to happen, and so I had to think about it very hard, this haiku business. Half a syllable each side. Thinking about it, that's spitting on my ancestors. Push comes to shove, I could live with it. But the old evisceration, forget about it. So I thought, get it right, Dr. Clarke, internal dialogue. So I'm going to give you a little mashup of my haikus now. 17 syllables, 3 lines. And I'm going to mash them up. I'm not going to start with number 1 and then go through it. You know why? Because life ain't chronological. So I'm going to mash them up. I'm going to start with haiku number 6. Yeah, radical. Read your mind. Smarter men than I have been total idiots, and I've met them all. Haiku number 2. With patience and faith, you may catch your enemy's funeral cortege. Haiku number 3. Inertia saves lives. Idle threats remain that way, procrastinating. Haiku number 4. With its golden pledge of a pain-free existence, morphine makes me brave. Haiku number 5. The way to relax. Don't lift anything heavy and try to keep still. And I'm going to wrap it up now with haiku number 1. Haiku number 1, the one that got me started on the Gary Snyder road to self-enlightenment. Haiku number 1. To freeze the moment in 17 syllables is very difficult. Thank you very much. Okay, back to the rambling poet. Oh, no, wait, I can get even more minimal than that. I can get even more. This is the most minimalist poem anybody will ever write if they rhyme for a living. I'm a rhyming kind of poet. So therefore you can't make it any more minimal than 2 lines. You can't do a one. It's got to be 2 lines, or what's the second line going to rhyme with when there isn't a first line in the first place? So it's got to be 2 lines if you're a rhymer like me. So this is as minimal as it gets, ladies and gentlemen, and this concerns the hot topic of aberrant sex. And I call this one Necrophilia. Fed up with foreplay and all that palaver. Abacadabra.
Take it up.
Let's go back in time to your childhood. Let's go back 1,000 years to this one. This one's 1,000 years old and 1,000 miles long, and I got to deliver it at 1,000 miles an hour, and it's called Beasley Street. Any old... Here we go then, Beasley Street. Far-flung crazy pavements crack the sound of empty rooms, a clinical arrangement, a dirty afternoon where the fatal germs of Mr. Freud are rendered obsolete. The legal term is null and void in the case of Beasley Street. In the cheap seats where murder breeds, somebody is out of breath. Sleep is a luxury, they don't need a sneak preview of death. Deadly nightshade is your flower, manslaughter, your meat. Spend a year and a couple of hours on the edge of Beasley Street in a boarding house, and a bed sits full of accidents and fleas. Somebody gets it where the missing persons freeze, wearing dead men's overcoats, you can't see their feet. This red joint shuts, opens up right down on Beasley Street. Cars collide, colours clash, disaster movie stuff. For the man with a Fu Manchu moustache, revenge is not enough. There's a dead canary on a swivel seat, there's a rainbow in the road. Meanwhile on Beasley Street, silence is the mode. It's hot beneath the collar, an inspector calls. The perishing stink of squalor impregnates the walls. The rats have all got rickets, they spit through broken teeth. A bloodstain is your ticket. One way down Beasley Street, the hipster and his haircut drive a borrowed car. He looks like the Duke of Edinburgh, but not so la-di-da. OAP, mother-to-be, what's that three-piece suite? When shite catcher dreams and crocodile skis are seen on Beasley Street, the kingdom of the blind. A one-eyed man is king, beauty problems are redefined, the doorbells do not ring, light bulbs burst like blisters, it's the only form of heat. Where a fella sells it sits down in the middle of Beasley Street, the boys are on the wagon, the girls are on the shelf. Their common problem is that they're not someone else. The dirt blows out, the dust blows in, you can't keep it neat. It's a fully furnished dustbin. 16 Beasley Street people turn a poison quick as lager turns to piss. Sweethearts are physically sick every time they kiss. It's a sociologist's paradise. Each day repeats, uneasy, cheesy, greasy, queasy, Beasley Street. Thank you very much. Nice, thank you. It's a magnum opus, no question. Well, you know, but we went back to that area. We went back there with some money from Urban Splash, Lawrence Llewellyn Bowen and a couple of lifestyle gurus. And now you just wouldn't recognise the place. You want to hear about the makeover? You want to hear about the makeover? Sure you do. And this one's written in exactly the same tune as that one, for your ease and convenience to get the historical perspective on this one. Low-slung, shady basement gaps, rooms of empty sound, strip ribbon casements with Venetians halfway down. It's the Hoxton Finn with a nervous trim and a fragrant disregard. Urban splash art, ghetto gym, Beasley Boulevard, slate glutted, sated, hunger has no home. Pampered preen, patinated in a multicultural kind of tone. Looking good, lose that hood or lose your loyalty card. Here comes the neighbourhood, Beasley Boulevard, noodle bars, poodle parlor, studio bronze. Ask. Somebody saw the Prince of Charles in an Alfred E. Newman mask. Anything could happen, but it hardly ever does. There's a pub, but the regulars are bad. Nobody there to harsh your buzz down. Beasley Boulevard, the mall, the mall, whatever you want to call it, serves that glittering hoard with choice enticements, wall to wall, attracted then ignored. You want to shop where you don't need a cop and nobody swipes your card for a fair deal and a bit on top. Beasley Boulevard, there's the fat man's grocer, the fox outfit of the drunkard's licensee. That guy who's giving everyone the jitters, who's never been on TV. Never been on TV, you say, how very avant-garde. Black and white turns pink and grey down Beasley Boulevard, a stringent disinfectant with a most intrusive scent, wreaking violence on anyone of an olfactorial bent. While health and safety, the Beth Din, the girlies from Scotland Yard, keep the area free from sin. Beasley Boulevard, top of the range, rage regime change, long gone, overdue. The cops are gone, it's pale and strange with a whole new kind of view. Slightly better than paradise if you don't look too hard. Made over nice and nice. A B&B you wouldn't be without. BBC did a DVD about BB King, did a thing in here about a Garden of Eden in every yard. A phone box clear of hookers' cars, they gats to promenade. On Teasy Weezy, easy peasy, Beasley Boulevard. Custom easily, million easily, Beasley Boulevard. One more time, number one, something of, you know what it is. It's She's Got a Metal Plate in Her Head by the Coleman Scene. So I'm saying, oh God, it's a tragedy. It never got released. We hawked it around a little, you know, around New York, and Seymour Stein showed a little bit of interest, but then he went off the boil. One way or another, it never, you know, the lyrics got lost. So anyway, long story short, 20 minutes later, a title like that, the number writes itself. 20 minutes later, I'd written this one, my version of that. And you know, I lost it in 1980. And then last Wednesday, I found it again. I had a look at it. And I had a look at it and I considered the title, you know, She's Got a Metal. And I thought, well, there's no reason why that can't fly today. People are still being fitted with cranial plates for one reason or another. So I thought, with a bit of modernisation, this could fly again. So see what you think. This is my version of, because I've never seen the other version, so I've only stolen the title. And the first verse, by the way, I know a lot of you are under 65, so you might not, I don't want to alienate you on the first line. The first line refers to a detective show in the late 50s called 77 Sunset Strip. Anybody remember this? Do you get that in Holland? Starring Ed Cookie Burns, Roger, husband of Anne Margaret Smith, as Jeff Spencer, and Ephraim Zimbalist Jr. as Stu Bailey, who were a private eye firm on Sunset Strip, right next to the nightclub owned by Dean Martin, who would have the odd guest appearance. So it was a class act all the way, that's all I'm going to tell you. But you don't have to know that to appreciate the horror contained within these lines. See if you can see where I've modernised it. There you are, that's your job. See if you can spot where I modernised it. It's seamless. Seamless. But see if you can spot where I brought it up to date from 1979. So here it is. She's Got a Metal Plate in Her Head by Dr. John Cooper Clarke. 77 Sunset Strip was on the TV when my baby took a dip. 11:20, she cried in pain. The pool was empty. I had the fucker drained. To all intents and purposes, she's virtually dead. She's got a metal plate in her head. She's got a non-ferrous metal plate in her head. A metal plate in her head. It's better that you understand she's already been dead. Now she's hanging in a wonderland with this metal plate in her head. She's in a world where we can't go. The days are motionless, the nights are slow. My life, it's grey and greenish. Self-reproach fills every scene. It's I can't help feeling partly responsible. I'm living in the shed. She's got a metal plate in her head. She's got a non-corrosive metal plate in her head. A metal plate in her head. You can't reach her on the mobile phone. She can't hear it in the Chrome zone. She don't know what's happening, Holmes. Take it easy, the doctor said. She's got a metal plate in her head. She's got a non-corrosive metal plate in her head. A metal plate in her head. She's got a non-ferrous metal plate in her head. A metal plate in her head. She's got a hypoallergenic metal plate in her head. A metal plate in her head.